Comet planet Venus. We've been watching Venus for over a year every night, and it looks like it's getting bigger. I don't ever remember seeing this planet in the past 5 years or so, every night so big and bright. We're hearing that from all over the world. People are commenting on how bright Venus is. Well, it is bright. But there's something about this planet that may not even be a planet and may not even belong in our solar system. Comets have always captured man's imagination. We see them, and folklore has it that they are an omen of bad fortune for planet Earth. The ancestors knew. This is a drawing that's out in the Mojave Desert. This is Venus. It shows Venus as a comet. And they were not alone. Comets have a very odd way of how they come in. Some come in bright, some come in not bright at all. We know this. There have been clues left. We just did not recognize it. The ancients sent us symbols telling us of the mysteries. How did they know? How did they know that all of these depict stars, crescents, flying disk, the Pleiades, Orion? What did they know? In all of our science, in all of our technology, we still do not know. We know that even the cultures on the other side of the planet had stories about the celestials. This one is Venus. They sent us a warning. We did not know the sculptures. What they were giving us were puzzles, exact clues, telling us of the things that they knew, but we never understood. The ancient sky is not what our sky is today. And in terms of time, through the cosmic record, it has not been all that long ago. What we see today is not what was seen by our ancestors. They saw a different sky. That sky was filled with many different objects. They all marveled at this new star that came in as a star. Many cultures reported it as a comet and how it got caught in by our sun, and how when it came through, it marveled all of mankind. Throughout all cultures, from Mesopotamia all the way forward, we have seen this ancient symbol, not knowing what it was really about. We do now. Could it be that the Egyptians knew about this and had such reverence for the event that it adorned all of their kings, their queens? We see this. And there have been many different thoughts, many different ideas. This is just one to be added to it. And it's just not imagination. These depictions were real. Hard for us to accept that, but it is in fact truth. Venus was seen differently. I would encourage you, if you have not, to check out the Thunderbolts project. They have tremendous material that will help explain this, because the reason why that Venus could very well be considered a comet is because of the electric universe. We know this. It played a role as did many different celestial events, right in our own solar system. We're used to a sky, a set of stars and planets that we have taken great pride in how we have measured, how we have calculated. And we, based upon those models, our artificial intelligence, our computers, and we tell them, this is how the orbit is. But it may not be just that way at all. This is a solar system view of our heliosphere. And as you can see, it extends all the way out to interstellar space. It's huge. And it's because of this heliosphere that we're alive. We can communicate. I can do this video and you can watch. And it has a natural effect that we have been able to observe and measure. We call that the magnetosphere. We know this as well, is that within our solar system, planets react to our sun reacts to our universe, our galaxy. And we now know and we can define how events, particularly from our sun, affect our planets and the other planets. This is how we have observed, and this is what we have seen. We know as well that when a comet comes next to our sun, it has a predictable path. As you can see, it will hit the magnetic field first, then the solar wind. And as it begins to come in, it begins to build the tail. We know as well that we can track comets. We can track their debris fields. This is what we see in the meteorite showers. And they are very well predictable. We know this. But what's not so predictable is Venus, second closest to the sun. If there was a description of Venus, it would have to be man's interpretation of hell, for that is what it is. It would be described as hell. The odd thing about it is, in all of our exploration of our planets, both inner and outer of the solar system, why so little attention to Venus? Very few probes. Russia sent a couple up there. In fact, because of the Russians, we actually know what Venus looks like. What we have done, we got initial data, but nothing after that. The last satellite was up there was the Japanese. And boy, did it tell us something. Something is going on with this planet because it's not normal. Doesn't have any characteristics of the rest of the planets. None at all. In fact, if you want to say that if it has a magnetosphere, it's unlike the rest of the planets, and talk about chaos, it is completely chaotic. It has, again, no signature of what would be a normal planet. We know even Mercury has a traditional magnetopause, not Venus. Venus retrogrades. How is that? It is the only planet in the solar system that retrogrades in its orbit. Why? And this is the most telling of all. When we now can see what the satellites are telling us, this is not a planet. Something has happened here. Even Soho has been impacted by Venus. Almost fried it. What is going on? Huh? And remember, although we will not be able to see the star, the planet, the comet, Venus, as it approaches in March, But don't think for a second, in an electric universe, that there cannot be consequences. So we know that this planet is different. The question is, why? And why is it that our science does not want to recognize what the facts are? Listen, the voices from the past, they cry to us. They knew things that we don't know. We are a species with amnesia. But it has to be asked, why? Of the symbols, disk within wheels, there was something that we have not been told. Why was Saturn called the soft sun, the gentle sun? It is said that it filled the nighttime sky. And Saturn is very much a lot like Earth. It has a rocky core, not Venus. Even Mercury has the same signatures, but not Venus. Something is afoot here. And if it was not just for the fact that the peculiarities of Venus in its structure, its signature, its makeup, it is the fact of having to think, well, how did it get in here? Now, this is Earth. This is what our planet looks like without the water. Changes happen. And the solar system is not what they call in a stable condition. I don't believe that a stable condition on a cosmic time scale exists. It's ever changing. And here you can clearly see how our planet was hit by Tiamat. Very clear. We know as well that comets can be planet killers. Fact. So the question really becomes, Venus, is it broken, or is it really a comet planet? Comets are still a very strange thing to us. Although we have figured out the basics of what we think comets are made of. Just last year, when we landed a probe on one, we found out it's very different than what we have been told. And we know that comets can be and act like asteroids. The question, I think, becomes, if an asteroid, why not a planet? We know this as well. It's that Venus has a different type of signature. We see this in the way it reacts. We know this. It has more the characteristics and the actions of a comet. Our universe, our solar system, is a dangerous place, an unknown place. When you think of the asteroid belt, it is the remains of a planet. It may not be as all that stable as we think. Our sun always reacts to comets, and it seems to have an interesting reaction to Venus. The controversy that has been all along about what has been said to be lens flare by the reaction of Venus may now, in fact, be the telltale signatures of how a comet reacts that is locked into an orbit it was never meant to be in. We can track it as it moves across the sun, and we know that the sun reacts to Venus. Now, yes, it reacts to Mars as well, but the fact of the orbit that Venus is now in and how it does seem to have an odd way of attracting other comets. Now, we catch a lot of different things about our sun, how our sun reacts. Now, this could be nothing more than a CME that took a strange shape, because we capture strange shapes off of our sun all the time. We see oddities that we can't quite explain, but yet we try to rationalize. And when it comes to Venus, even Mercury, and the luminosity, why, it has been a light show ever since that we sent this bird up. And it does react. When Ison came through, it was quite spectacular to see how it reacts to the sun and how it reacts even when Venus is around. Here you go, watch. Now, is it so far-fetched in thought of theory that a comet could be the same size as a planet and get caught up? By the way, this event caused a magnetic pole reversal. There you go. June 24th, 2015. The event happened on June 23rd. You can see it right there. So we know our sun reacts to comets, planets, brown dwarfs, black holes, other type of objects. Are we seeing signs that we have become so, what's the word, callous in our view? Suspect? Have we missed signs that have been there all along that now fill our nighttime sky? Has our sky changed? We get the idea that we think that we know because of an object in size would have such a dramatic effect upon our planet. We don't know that. There is a balance between celestial bodies. And maybe this was not about Nibiru. Maybe this is about something more immediate. A question science forgot to ask. Have planets always moved on their present courses? We know this. Every planet in our solar system is expanding. And here you can see part of the difference. Yeah. Are we feeling the effects of an unseen dying star? And that unseen is having effects on our planet, our solar system? It has been said that changes will happen, and Earth will not see it coming. We're so sure in what we think our science tells us, but it may turn out we're not that sure about anything. There is an alien sky coming. It's already in the making. You need to get ready for it. There are things we are still like babes, newborn babes. We think we know. We assure ourselves that we know. We hope that we know. But maybe it's not that we know anything at all. Because there's one thing that this universe is going to teach mankind, and that mankind is not the master of the universe. Things can happen suddenly, without warning. Could a brown dwarf absorb enough energy to ignite? Think about it.